Welcome to this video. Probing the periodontium is an essential tool in diagnosing periodontitis and also to enable you to do root planing. So we're going to go through and show you how to probe first of all. So I'm using a UNC, that's University of North Carolina 15mm probe. The tip of the probe should be held against the root at all times. You always keep the tip touching the root as you push down to measure the pockets. I like to do all my probing, the definitive probing, while the patient is anesthetized, because that way I don't hurt my patient unnecessarily. So always tip into the furcations, into the deeper spots, and you do your charting like that. If you can probe, you can root plane. And the reason for that is, if you look at this tip, this is my root planing tip. It's a P3D, that's Perio 3 diamond tip. It has the same dimension as a probe. So if you can probe with this diamond tip and it will do the root planing for you. So it's a beautiful, fine tool, and it goes into the deepest defects. If you look there, it goes into the furcation defect, millimeters subcrestal, and you can really get it into any defect. When I do the root planing, I'll demonstrate this in a moment on the skull. I go all the way down to the bone. And this tip is an essential tool. It will cost you less than $200 on eBay. I do the gross scaling with a scaling tip. I don't want to use my diamond tip to waste it on removing large pieces of calculus. So for this, I use a scaling tip, using it parallel to the tooth surface, not to damage the tooth. And you can do this supra as well as subgingival. You don't do root planing supragingival, but you do scaling supragingival as well as subgingival. So for this, I use a Hibitane mixture, Hibitane 5% concentrate, which you mix 1 ml into 100 ml, 10 ml into a liter, and I use that in a tank that I use on my scaler. And so I use a bit of an antiseptic while I do the scaling and the root planing. Once I've done the gross scaling, I will now go over to using the diamond tip. And the diamond tip is used in a very gentle, light stroking action on the root surface. Only subgingival, never supragingival. You will cause sensitivity and damage the tooth. So in a gentle stroking action, you just move around the tooth and just keep stroking the surface of the root, and it will do the cleaning for you. So this is the way that you do root planing. You probe with the diamond tip into the furcations, into the pockets, all the way down to the bone crest. You will not damage the periodontium. Believe me, it'll heal in days beautifully. So a gentle action going around each and every tooth. The fact that you're doing an ultrasonic root planing doesn't mean that you can do it quick. It still requires time to remove all the deposits. Once you've done that, you can verify it by checking with the probe whether you're still feeling rough, big pieces of calculus. If not, then I'll go over to my doxycycline 10%. And this, I use an irrigating needle. You push it in to the pocket. Don't push it deep into little defects, because then you just block the needle. So you want to use it in an up and down motion so that it enables the doxycycline to flow freely, and use effective suction as explained in the text. And you just go around each tooth. You do a quadrant at a time. You do a tooth at a time. You do 2 quadrants at a time, depending on how experienced you become in this. But this you do for 5 minutes at a time. And this is essential, and that's what a root planing is. That's all there is to it. Thank you.